And I'm going to start, and Stephanie's got some stuff to share as well. When I was brainstorming with Andrea last week on what we could talk about, we both kind of felt like right now in our businesses, we need to simplify. We need to figure out how to do this business in the most simple way we can. And as we started brainstorming ideas, as we were talking back and forth, we realized that, you know what, this business really is super simple. And once we've been in it for a while, or even if we're just starting, no matter where you are in your business, we have a tendency to overcomplicate it. And while some of the stuff we lost my train of thought, overcomplicate can be fun, it doesn't necessarily mean that our business is growing. So we decided to go with success in simplicity and simplifying for success, and share our tips and tricks and different things. So there's three we've broken the call down in sort of three different things. Consistency, business building behaviors, and prioritizing. And those are the things that I think, those are just the things we're going to run with for this call. Okay, so first I want to say that we're all busy, right? We either work, or we have a home life, we're wives, we're friends, we're daughters, or sons if we have any men, we're moms, we wear 100 different hats throughout our day. No matter what you do in your life, even if you don't work or whatever, we wear so many different hats. The list can go on and on and on. So figuring out how this business comes in, I think, can be so tough no matter where you are in your life. So I want to be clear with what we're going to talk about here. Simplifying does not necessarily mean cutting back on things. That's not where we're going with this. It just means how we're breaking it down in order to get everything in a manner that makes sense. Okay, and it's about doing the right stuff and doing the things that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, just like that show. So we're going to talk about what that is and how we do it. Okay, so before we jump into the sections, one tip that I think helps across the board, and I find myself really using it right now in this season of my life, just to kind of give you guys a frame of reference. I felt like I had a really big wake-up call when my son went to kindergarten this year with, oh my God, like, I'm not going to be a stay-at-home mom to my kids forever. Like, they're going to grow up and go to school. Like, when you're in the stay-at-home mom toddler life, you're like, these days are going to go forever. We have like these long stretches of days where you're like, when is the husband coming home? Like, when's our next play date? Like, we got to get something for these kids to do. Like, when's Daniel Tiger on? Like, it's time. But those days, like, it wasn't like a wake-up call to me when they actually have come to an end, at least for my son. So for this season of my life, with my husband traveling and where we are, I get up and I work in the morning from like 6 to 7:30, and that's my time. I do a little bit at night, but let's be honest, I'm tired from getting up that early and from mom and all day, so I don't do too much in the evening. So that's my time, that hour and a half. So I have found that creating a sense of urgency is super important. I know Josh.
Katie, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're like cutting in and out. So can everybody go on mute so I can hear you? Sorry.
I can make sure everyone's on mute too. I think someone just got on.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I don't want to miss a word of what you have to say.
No, I'm. All right, I think everyone's muted now. Is it better? Okay. So, creating that sense of urgency for yourself, no matter when you work, I think is going to be huge. So, saying I will work from 6 a.m. till 7 p.m. or 6 to 7 p.m., 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then I'm going to turn off my computer or my phone, and that gives you that reason to stop scrolling, to stop liking and commenting on other coaches' posts, the things that, like, the fun stuff that we all do. Like, we all do it. We're all guilty. So that sense of urgency. I know when I get up at 6, I am working against the clock, because the second my kids get up, I'm there. I'm like, I want to be there. I do not want to be working. I want to shut down and I want to go do my morning routine with them. So I am like, okay, what are we going to do first here? Sometimes I even make my list at night. So that's sort of across the board for the next couple things we're going to talk about. I also will say that just because you put in 4 hours, I found just because you put in 4 hours a day, it doesn't mean that you make more progress than someone who's putting in an hour. If you can really simplify and do it effectively, it really depends on what you're doing. Because I've put in those 4 hours, and sometimes I get more done in the hour because I've done some of these other things. Okay, so number one, I'm going to talk about the first thing is prioritizing. Making a to-do list. I mean, Chalene Johnson is like the queen of to-do lists, you guys. And that's where, I mean, we all know how to make one. It's not like some like brand new idea. But when she talked about it first a couple years back, I said, oh, I need to really do a to-do list. So making a to-do list, you know, even per hour, per day, per week, however you need to break it down, make that list. Focus on that. For example, my list always has for each day my workout and drinking my shake. I mean, that's like that's how we can really break this business down. If you're doing that every day, if you're a brand new coach, you've gotten started as a coach in this business, doing your workout, drinking your shake. And then I add whatever is pressing for the day. Okay, and a lot of the time I do more than what I have on the top of my to-do list, but that's like my top priority stuff, the stuff that has to be done. Okay, so for example, right now where I am in my month is I have a group starting, my 30-day group starting on Monday. So right now the top of my list is making sure that I'm inviting to that and following up for that paid group. I'm not cutting out anymore, am I? Okay. So that's at the top of my list right now. Those are the things like tomorrow morning when I get up at 6, that's what I'm doing first. I'm not answering any other messages like from, you know, like current challengers. I'll get to that. But top of my list, in case my kids wake up, is to make sure that I'm doing my inviting for that. Okay, some other examples might be like getting your group set up. Like I know if my group's not set up and it's Friday morning, it's got to be done. It's got to be the first thing that I do. Okay, building new contacts. Back in August, I was really reflecting on my business and trying to figure out why am I struggling so much. And part of that reason is because my cleaning groups just were not bringing in the funnel of people that they had been. So top of my list every day was getting new contacts, was adding friends. That was the first thing I did when I sat down, no matter where I was in my month, because I knew my business wasn't going to go anywhere without those new people. Okay, so you know, building new contacts, connecting. Maybe you're in your month where you need to be like that needs to be first thing. Brainstorming social media. Maybe you feel like your social media is lacking, and brainstorming social media. Many of these things, you guys, I do them every single day, as does Stephanie and, you know, the other coaches on the team who have had success, you know, Lauren's on, or Chris, or whoever. Those things get done daily, but I mean, things happen. You know, there are days when my kids wake up at 6:30 a.m. If those first things are done in that half an hour, I'm good then. And later on, I can get to those other things, hopefully. But let's say I don't, I've done those things that are pressing. And I know from being in the business long enough that if I don't like complete a full power hour, let's say on Monday, because my kids didn't wake up at 6:30, the next day on Tuesday morning, top of my list is going to be completing that power hour and maybe even doubling it. So that's what I mean by prioritizing. I'm not saying that like your whole power hour isn't important, but prioritize so you get the stuff that's important done first. Okay, so I'm going to go into business building behaviors, and then Stephanie's going to round us out with consistency. Business building behaviors. Okay, so we all know the business building behaviors. We all can kind of like roll our eyes. We know, right? But they are typically the things that we all put off, right? We do these things last for whatever reason, even though this is the stuff that is the most important. And they're the hardest to get started. Like it's so hard to sit down and be like, okay, I got to invite to my free group today. You know, we're like, oh, well, let me scroll really first or whatever, okay? We spend too much time on graphics. I mean, who's done that before? Like the graphics, I mean, right? We spend too much time creating the perfect graphic or whatever, scrolling. Another thing I know we do is we spend too much time talking to other coaches. Like, sure, that's fun, and sometimes it's important. I'm not saying it's not. But, I mean, raise your hand if you spent time talking to coaches and been like, I'm working my business. That's not working your business. That's not a business building activity. Like, I'm totally guilty. you know, going on the voice messages. Next thing you know, an hour has passed, right? We've all been there. Creating, even, you know, a more seasoned coach, creating trainings and videos. Sure, those things are important, but I found in my coaching business, when I'm really simplifying, the business building behaviors are where it's at, okay? And I'm gonna be honest, those people who want this business with or without your pretty trainings and your cool videos where your hair is done, they're gonna run with this no matter what. We have a large enough support team, a lot of support on this team that there's plenty of resources and all that other stuff, the pretty trainings and resources and whatever. So simplifying, if you have to choose, it's gotta be your own business. It has to be your own business. I mean, if you have time for both, that's awesome. But if you have to choose, your business building activities have to come first. That Success Club, filling your challenge groups, all that stuff has to come first before the other stuff. When I went to the New Leaders Conference, I don't even know, not last year, but the year before, that was like their biggest thing. The New Leaders Conference, it was for, I don't know, once you hit Star Diamond and you go one time out of your whole coaching career. And that was the whole theme of the entire training, because once you reach a certain level, you wonder, how much time should I put into leading my team? Every single one of those top coaches who spoke at that said your own business needs to be floating before you can start leading your team. And that sort of, you know, goes into this for the more seasoned coaches. All right, so what are the business building activities? The Power Hour, adding new contacts, connecting with people, inviting people, and creating content for social media. Obviously, personal development as well. I don't consider that, I don't do that as part of my Power Hour, so I'm not really going to focus on that. That's always been separate for me. If it's part of your Power Hour, then obviously you know how to work that in. Okay, so let's break it down. So creating that sense of urgency again, set a timer or a time to finish a task and then be done with it, move on, okay? Once you're in that habit, you become used to doing it and you become more efficient. You just do. I've been there where I'm like, don't do that. It's much more efficient if you set the time to be done and then you do it and then you're done. Nothing creates more of a sense of urgency than knowing your kids are gonna get up soon. Like, that is the biggest sense of urgency for me. I'm like, they're getting up soon. I heard somebody, one more invite. Okay, so you need a sense of urgency. Adding new contacts. Set a realistic goal for yourself and just do it. You know, if you have 3 hours to work this business a day, maybe you're going to add 10 to 15. If you have 45 minutes, add 3. There's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, Stephanie's going to talk more about consistency, but you guys, if you're adding 3 every single day, you're doing something for your business, even if you're adding 3. Okay, so expanding your network every single day. I add most of my new contacts now from either my Life page or from going to mutual friends. Actually, I've completely copied what Chelsea Hamrick did on her live Power Hour, where she finds new contacts with mutual friends, and then she sends them that little, hey girl, like, I noticed we have these awesome friends in common, so I figured you might be awesome too. So that's the 2 ways that I add new friends mostly. Connecting via social media and private message. So creating those friends lists, you guys, that's huge. If you want to scroll through those you know, created friends lists. Connect and then message them about what they are sharing. Like, it's so simple. It's so simple. Create valuable content for your Facebook feed. I'm finding this more and more important for me, especially with my cleaning groups not blowing up like they used to. So if I'm adding people daily, I want them to see me as adding value to their life. I want to connect with them through my Facebook posts, and I want them to want to be friends with me. Through my pictures and through what I'm posting. It's going to look a little bit different for everyone, but my biggest tips there are pictures that are pretty. And I don't necessarily mean like hair done, makeup on, like beautiful, you look beautiful. I mean pictures that are simple. Like this, I would never post a picture with all this like crap in the background. Like a picture that people want to see. Like if I'm scrolling, there are certain pictures that I'm like, oh, why would somebody post that? That's for me, and it's going to look a little different for everyone. I try really hard to create like a real life vibe on my Facebook feed. Branding yourself, all that kind of stuff, that's a whole different call, I suppose. But connecting with people via social media has been really big. Okay. All right, you guys, inviting. A lot of people commented on that post about inviting. So if you're connecting regularly, it's time to start inviting. Schedule a free group if you're new and invite people to it. It's free. What's the worst they can say? No. I mean, who cares? Move on. If you're more seasoned, inviting to a paid group. Simplify the invite. I think we all get stuck on these invites, you guys. It's so simple. And I'm telling you, the worst that's going to happen is they say no or they don't answer you. Either one, who cares? Okay? They're either going to say no, or they're going to say yes and keep talking, or they're just going to not answer you. And let's be honest, who has ever not answered a Facebook message like from another consultant or something? I mean, I try really hard to answer if I get them, but I am guilty of it too. And I'm not thinking bad of that person. I just didn't answer. I forgot. So you really have nothing to lose. For example, hey, so-and-so, I'm hosting a 30-day virtual wellness studio right here on Facebook. Would you be interested in hearing more? Super simple. Like that would apply to some of my contacts. Or I just ask simple questions if we already have a conversation going. For example, I try to find out why they might need this. Like, what kind of workout do they like? Do they like weights? Do they like dancing? Do they like yoga? What's their biggest struggle? What does their schedule look like? All this stuff just helps me when I do get to that invite. Hey, I've got this group. We're all going to be doing 30-minute workouts. I know you've got this crazy busy schedule. Do you think you could fit in half an hour? Whatever. Or if they tell me their problem is motivation, I just don't have the motivation. We have this group started. It's so simple to just bring it back to what you already know about them. Okay? So that's how I invite. And again, like what I said before, depending on how much time you have, you may have time to do 30 invites. Or maybe you have time to do 3. As long as you're doing something, you're going to move your business forward. Recruiting. All right, here we go. To me, recruiting is a process. So taking recruiting, I can't just talk about recruiting alone. Recruiting is an entire process for me, and it always has been. Recruiting is having a new contact, connecting with them via private message and in my social media, connecting with them some more, inviting them to a challenge group, hosting a kick-ass challenge group, and then inviting them. Like, it's a process for me. Rarely do I just recruit people, and maybe other people have had luck with that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it's been a whole process right from the beginning. I address people's objections to joining me in the business through my social media. You know, if I have people telling me they don't have time, I'll address that in my social media posts. Same with challenge groups. If I have objections, I address it in my social media posts. Not obviously speaking right to them, but hopefully they see it and it speaks to them. I once had a month where I had like 3 people who were holding back from being like kind of fearful of what their friends and family might think, or not having enough Facebook contacts. So I had an entire theme for my month of what I was going to post about. So if you want to recruit more, everything else in your business has to expand, in my opinion. You know, your power hour, your Success Club numbers, I think, have to be bigger. Your challenge groups have to be bigger. You have to be adding more people, that kind of thing. We all want the secret sauce to recruiting. I don't know if someone else has the secret sauce. I don't think I do. Mine is just to be me, be genuine, keep it as simple as possible. I become friends with my challengers. You know, at least those who let me in. Not everybody, you know, not everyone is going to answer my questions and really feel their vibe with me, and that's okay. You know, having just challengers in groups is fine too. But I try to become friends with anyone that I'm really feel like jiving with, and then it makes it really easy to invite them to the business either for the discount or for the opportunity. And hopefully they trust me enough at least to jump on for the discount. And if they say no, it's fine. I don't drop them like, okay, I'm done with you. Stick around, like keep being friends with them, keep hanging with them, and most often they come around. And I think that most of my most successful coaches, like they're my friends. Like, they're just people I like and that we can hang with. And, you know, people, they're even like, I've got out of state coaches who we go visit and stay at their houses. Like, they come around eventually. And I can tell you, every one of my coaches who has hit diamond or is close to diamond or really is working that this business, they didn't all jump on right away. I mean, Angela took like 2 freaking years. She kept me waiting for 2 years. Like, if they say no, just stick around. Like, that's all you need to do. Just be there. And on social media, I continue to be real, be me, and to rock my workouts and my biz with or without them. Like, I'm going with or without them. And a lot of times people end up joining eventually. Now, right now, I feel like my work is smaller, so my recruiting is smaller. Do you see what I'm saying? If you want to sign 10 coaches, like, your work needs to expand. Like, that's sort of going to lead right into Stephanie, which I'm going to pass on to her.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. I got a lot of good tips from that. I appreciate you. Yeah, so consistency is kind of my bag. So I've been coaching, for those who don't know me, my name is Stephanie Marsilio. I've been coaching for about 3.5 years, and consistency is something that I've always held dear because I'm a mom. I have 4 kids, and when I started coaching, 2 of them were still home with me during the day, and I know how fast they grow. And I've already had a big career in industry. I was an engineering project manager. I did that, and I know how much time I could have devoted, and I knew how I could get sucked into devoting a lot of time to coaching because I loved it. It was super fun. It gave me so much purpose. I loved it. But I also knew that my kids were only going to be little ones, and so I really wanted to spend time with them. So I dedicated X number of hours each day to coaching. Typically Monday through Friday, I would work 1 to 2 hours a day. And that's what I did for 3.5 years. And I've still been able to grow a business. I've still been able to hit Success Club. Every month I've been in the business, Success Club 10 for the last 30 something months. I don't know. It's been a while. So it is possible if you're consistent. And I really think that is why I've been able to build the business I've been able to build, because especially for the last year, it got a little trickier in this last year with the amount when I could work. So I got up, and I am not a morning person, people. I am not a morning person. And I got up at 5, and I would work from 5 to 6:30, Monday through Friday. I would get up every day because I knew that was the time that I could devote. And that was the only definite time that I could devote. And I was hopeful that no one would get up before 6:30 because sometimes they would. That's why I had to get up at 5, because 6:30 was I hope so. I hope they stay until 6:30. So again, consistency is key. And now, like, what the heck does that mean, right? We talk about these buzzwords like power hour and sharing your story, and it can get like, okay, that's cool. What's a power hour? How do I implement that into my life? What exactly does inviting mean? What exactly does connecting mean? I could talk about all of them, but I really want to focus on 2 that I think are so super critical to growing a successful business, and that's personal connections and follow-up. Those 2 things, if those are the only things that you can do in your 15 minutes a day, personal connections and follow-up is where it's at. Because let's be honest, people can get Beachbody products from anywhere. They can just type in teambeachbody.com and get whatever they need. But they want the extra support. They want to get it from someone they know, love, and trust, right? Or at least right? Know, like, and trust. So we want to be that people. We want to be that person for these people. And the only way to really do that is through personal connections. Now, it's easy with your warm market, right? Like, Mom, I love you. I'd really love for you to do this with me. Like, sister, friend, like, it's easy to have those conversations with people we know. But how do we get in deep with people we don't know? And that is really, I think, twofold. 1, be genuine. Just be genuine. Go to their Facebook page. Do they have lots of posts about dogs and you love dogs? Be like, oh my goodness, your dog's so cute. Do they have lots of posts about dogs and you hate dogs? Don't be like, oh my goodness, your dog is so cute. Like, be real, right? Like, find some other way to connect, because I'm sure there's something else you can connect on. But make it genuine, make it real, because it shows through. Your passion for their success will show through when you truly care about them. And I had another point there and I totally forgot. So I'm just going to keep moving on. Maybe I'll remember. But honestly, those connections may never lead you to a sale. They may never lead you to that person ever trying Shakeology or a fitness program. But if those connections are genuine, they may lead you to a referral. They may lead you to helping somebody in a really tough time in their life. And you can say, oh my goodness, I helped them through that, right? Because so many of us are in this business to truly help people. And it may not look the way we want it to look, like with 2 Success Club points, right? I mean, let's be honest, sometimes that's what we're looking for. But that doesn't mean we can't help them in a way that they need. And when they're ready to jump on board, then you're going to be the one they want to jump on board with. You're going to be the one they go to for that help. So be genuine. And I remember the other one, ask questions. Ask lots and lots of questions. Again, I told you that I'm an engineer, so I love data. So in the beginning, when somebody would ask, they would come to me, right? In the beginning, I had some random people come to me and be like, I think I want to try this. And I'd be like, yeah, you do. And let me list out the 300-point thesis on why you want to do it. I mean, it's completely logical, very well thought out. Obviously, you want to join me. And when I tell you, I scared so many people away because I just told them what I thought they should know. Because I know I'm an engineer. I am logical. This is a very logical progression on how can you not want to join me, right? Surprisingly, I lost a lot of people that way. But when I asked them questions and I really got to the root of why they wanted to change their life and what they wanted to change and what struggles they were dealing with, and I was able to tailor a solution that felt customized to them, and they were so much more willing to be like, yeah, that is perfect. That's exactly what I need. Versus me just spewing out information. So if you're genuine and you ask questions, it really shows through. And that's all connecting is. It's just getting to know somebody and drawing them into your circle and learning more about them so that you can help them more. And the other thing that is super critical is follow-up. Follow-up, follow-up, follow-up. There are so many times that I have gotten back to somebody even a week later, like they haven't gotten back to me, and I get back to them a week later. I'm like, hey, just letting you know, our group is about to close. So sign up is, now or never. I mean, I don't say it that way, but you're getting my gist of I'm just following up with them. And they're like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I totally forgot to do that. Yes, I'm signing up right now. Because our priority is not their priority. I mean, I have 2 network marketing people, my friends, who I have some hair product that I need to buy that I've been wanting to buy, I just haven't gotten to it, and some eye cream that I want to try, just haven't gotten to it. I mean, they're my friends, and I want to support them, and I want to try those products, and I just haven't done it. So how much more people who are scared. They have developed these habits over the last 30, 35 years, and they're scared to death that they're going to try something new and it may not work. So they just keep putting it off and being like, I don't, maybe it'll work. And they need you to remind them, yes, I'm still here. Yep, when it gets hard, I'm still going to be there. Yep, I'm going to check in with you and make sure that I'm with you every step of the way. Maybe that's all they need, is just that reminder that you're there. So follow-up is just so critical. So what I do when I follow up, I'm going to read this because I don't want to miss it. So my first, so I usually after I've asked them a ton of questions and we talked about what solution might be best for them, and they often ask for the pricing. And my first follow-up is, hey, did you get a chance to look it over? Do you have any questions for me? I know I sent a lot of information, so it can be overwhelming. It's really not that much information, but to them it might feel like a lot of information. I really am better now about just giving them little snippets. But that's just a connecting point. And then my second check-in is just checking to make sure. I haven't seen that you saw the information I sent. Were you able to check it out? Just something really simple, 1 or 2 sentences. Just, hey, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm here. And then my third and final for usually 30 to 60 days is I haven't heard from you, so I'm guessing now is not a good time for you to join us. Don't worry, I run these challenges all the time and I can keep you posted on the next one. So not only am I giving them that out, where they often take it, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're like, oh, nope, I just forgot. But not only am I giving them an out, but I'm also letting them know that, hey, I'm going to follow up with you again. So I don't feel icky about, hey, remember 2 months ago you didn't want to join a group? Do you want to join a group now? You know, like it gives me the opportunity to be like, hey, remember 2 months ago? It wasn't great timing. How's now? You know, it's just a totally different vibe. So personal connections and follow-up. So what does that consistently look like day in and day out? So Katie touched on a couple of these things, and I just have a few quick tips. One, I schedule in my power hour. I schedule in that time I'm going to connect, whether it's a 15-minute block or a 2-hour block. I schedule it into my day. And while I'm thinking about that, 15 minutes, 5 days a week is way better, way more effective than 3 hours 1 day a week. It just is. People need to know that you're going to be around. People need to know they can connect with you, even if it's just once a day. You don't have to be available all day, every day. I certainly wasn't. I was available early in the morning and later at night. But at least it was every day, Monday through Friday, I was there. So schedule it in. Katie talked about this, set a timer. I have not been great at setting timers in the past, but I'm just implementing it now. It's life-changing. Like, all of a sudden, at 15 minutes are up, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, when you know that timer's coming, you're just much more focused, much more able to stay on task and not get distracted by scrolling your newsfeed or checking your messages, etc. That's another thing. I do my work before I check my messages. So if I have to connect, I make sure I connect with the people that I've already laid out the night before, which brings me to my next point. I lay out my plan the night before. At night, it takes 5 minutes, but I jot down the things that are most critical, the people I want to connect with, the number of things, if I want to send out 5 invites, the number 5 invites, and I get that done the night before so that I'm able to the next morning not have to like process a lot of stuff. I just go right to it. And it also helps me sleep better, because it's not like I'm laying in bed thinking, I need to do this tomorrow. Oh, how am I going to remember this? It's already done. I've already jotted through that. So it's helped me a lot. Another tip, track it. Write it down. Write down those names. Write down the date that you talked with them. If you want to scribble in a little note about what you said. I don't always do that because I just can scroll back through. Most of my stuff is in Messenger, and I just scroll back through. But that's a really, I'm kind of a dork. I'll show you really quick because I don't want to like overwhelm people. But I do have a little bit of a system. And here is here's a page of invites. So I have like a little legend. So like F would be free. This person joined my paid group. Like I just have ways to show myself quickhand where people are in the process so that I can make sure I can go back and connect with those people. People that have little dots next to them are like really good prospects, people that are really close to joining, if not like already told me they're going to join. And now I lost my notes. So write everything down, because that's how you know what you've done and who you want to go back to. Katie already mentioned this, scrolling through Facebook is not working. I have to remind myself that all the time. I'm like, but I'm liking people's stuff. I'm like helping our algorithms. That's what I tell myself. Like, I'm helping myself out. They're going to see more of my posts this way. It doesn't really work that way. Really, they need to be reached. I mean, if you really want to connect with somebody, reach out to them. And this is something that I'm saying hesitantly because the business has totally changed. But I say it with a purpose. So my first year in the business, I had my master's degree in engineering. I did not want anyone to know that I was in network marketing. That was like embarrassing to me. Embarrassing. I know. Isn't that terrible? Who am I? I'm such a snob. Anyway, so I didn't tell anybody. And the only thing I posted on my Facebook page for a full year, besides pictures of my adorable children, was once a month, I would say, hey, I'm running a free challenge group. I had 12 business posts in my first year, because I was mortified and I was petrified of what people were going to think of me. And I still hit Success Club every month of those 12 months. Now, I say that to you not because I think that's what you should do, because we are really helping people and we should be proud of that. I'm super proud of what I do, and I'm so thankful that I found this lifestyle. And now I'm happy to share. But I say that because that consistency with personal connections is what made all the difference. Obviously, if people see me post once a month, do they even know what I'm doing? And I had so many people that first year say, oh, guess what? Oh, you're doing these free clean eating challenges? I just tried Shakeology. It's awesome. You should try it, Stephanie. I'm like, oh, no. Like, I should have shared more, right? I should have shared more, because then I would have been able to help those people along even more. But the point is that consistency of those personal relationships and following up is what got me to where I am today. And I'm just, I really feel like if there's anything you can do for your business, even if it's 10, 15 minutes a day, consistency is where it's at. So sorry, I rambled a little bit. I get excited.
No, you were awesome. Are you kidding me? We're going to cut out here. If anyone has any questions, post them in the event. Feel free to ask questions or comment or whatever. Stephanie, you were awesome. Thank you so, so much. Thank you guys for being on. For real, like, it's nice to have people to talk to, not just talking to each other. So thank you for being on live. We really, really appreciate taking the time out. All right, guys, have a good night.